You know how you find these videos about easy website tutorial and you either go into a 2 or 3 hour long explanation of every single detailed step when you perhaps just looking for how to start or a small portion of it, or they just completely skip over all the initial steps and take you through a beautiful presentation except you still don't know how to actually get started. So I am going to take you through step by step how to get started. I am going to be working on the free version of Elementor to show you that you don't necessarily need the pro version and you can still build a beautiful website. So first of all, the very first step is just buy your domain. It doesn't really matter where you buy it. There are multiple places to buy from, and any hosting service will allow you to connect your domain or perhaps transfer it over to them. Some free, some at an additional cost. So I'm going to be doing a tutorial on using Elementor on WordPress. If you are perhaps just looking for a one-page website and you don't want to go into all this kind of building, you can check out card.co at $R. It is a one-pager website. You can build it for free. You won't be able to connect your domain unless you upgrade, but you can at least publish the website should you want to. And if you perhaps want a multi-page website, but it's much easier than WordPress or Elementor, you can check out Site123, where you can build multiple pages and it works the same as Card. You can publish, you can connect your domain if you upgrade, otherwise you just publish under a domain that belongs to Site123. I am not affiliated with any of these, I just found them quite useful. But I'm going to start with Elementor now. So after you've purchased your domain, you want to sign up to a hosting service if you haven't already signed up. And there are 4 hosting services. There are many, but these 4 are the ones that I could find have the best reviews on Google, and they are also amongst the most popular hosting sites. So I will drop the links below in the description so you can go check out the different websites, but just make sure that you go through the features so you can decide what works best for you. For example, HostGator. You can pay about $45 annually for a single website. It includes an SSL certificate, which is your security certificate. Then there's Bluehost. You can get away with about $35.40 for an annual package, but that excludes the SSL certificate, which you can add for $75.36 for the year. Then GoDaddy, which is probably the most well-known, where you can buy domains and hosting. They offer a free one-click WordPress install on all your packages, and the cheapest one that they have is about $5.99 per month, so it ends up about $71.88. They also offer the SSL certificate in all of their packages. They do have mail and they have managed WordPress. And then the last one is Hostinger, $2.99 per month, so about $35.88 annually for 1 year. So you get the domain for free as well, and after a year they bump you up to about $6.99 per month. Hostinger, for instance, for $2.99 a month, you can go up to 100 websites and you get a free SSL certificate. So this is really a good option just by the look of it. But with all of these options, Elementor is possible because the moment you have WordPress, Elementor is purely a plugin. So I'm just showing you the back end of my hosting server provider, where it said to me I can install WordPress from here. You can see WordPress installer. If I click on it, it takes me to the page to start the whole process. There's a couple of checks and then it says okay, install. It takes me to this page where I have to put in my website name. You can always change it later, create a password and log in for the back end of WordPress. And once you click here install, then it will take you to this front page of WordPress that you might or might not know, where you log into the back end. Once you're in, it's going to ask you what language you prefer. I'm going with English straight here. After this point, then you are into WordPress and you're actually ready to kind of start designing. So when I start building my website, there's a couple of steps I take before I actually start designing, which is just setting up all the plugins that I will be needing, and then building a maintenance page to show that my website is being built. Because otherwise, if you do choose a theme, that theme will already be live if your website is published, and it will have some random stuff in it. So you just need to put a block there for the time that you are still building. Okay, so plugins. This is how it basically starts on WordPress. You don't need to worry about it being already there. So then I want to add new. And before I get to Elementor, there are 2 things that I just want to include. The first one is called Duplicate. This is a plugin that lets you duplicate an existing page into a new draft one that you can amend. It's not a default feature of WordPress, and it helps if you have multiple pages and you like the design you made on one, then to just keep duplicating and changing all the others instead of having to build all from scratch. And the one I use is this one, where you can see the blue icon with the 2 pages over each other. You can see it's duplicating. Then you install and then you activate. And then the second one is Yoast SEO. So it's search engine optimization, and it's a free version of Yoast. You can upgrade to the premium one. I have never. And then obviously it can help you a lot more with search engine optimization. But in this instance, I'm pretty happy to work with the free version because it still tells me where I lack and where I can improve on my SEO. Okay, then I want to go back to plugins and I want to show you. If you see here on the right hand side, it says enable auto updates. So the majority of web designers will tell you don't enable it because sometimes with a newer update a bug can sneak in. Then your website is bugged for a little bit. And then you might have to reinstall a previous version, which you can do through your hosting service provider. Or you can automatically update your plugins. But if you have a very simple page, you build it and off you go, and you forget about the auto updates, if you don't update it, it can also leave your website bugged because the plugin is now outdated and some features might not be working as well. What you then do is you make a backup of your website, if you can do it yourself, or if you can contact your hosting service provider to make the backup, update everything, and if there's a bug somewhere, you can just revert to the older one. My hosting provider makes a backup of all the websites on the server once a day. So if I haven't worked on my website in a while and then I update it today and it's bugged, I just roll back to a previous one and then I try again. If you ever have any issue on your website that something is off, always start looking at your plugins. Okay, now we are ready for Elementor. And you can look for the little pink and maroon kind of icon, this one. Say install now. If you ever worry about whether a plugin is good or not, there's two things that you can look at. Number one, look at how many people have installed this plugin. Elementor is obviously well known, but if I look at other plugins here, I would be a little bit cautious if it's only perhaps 20,000 installations because there's not that many people using it yet. And you can look at the reviews above as well. And then the second thing is when last was it updated. That will tell you if that plugin is actually still usable. So this one was updated 1 week ago, 3 weeks ago. I'd be very keen to use that. This one, Envato Elements is actually quite well known, but it's updated 5 months ago. So immediately I'm wondering, is it still safe to use it? Is it compatible with my current version of WordPress? But there's 1 million active installations. So sometimes you have to take a bit of a gamble, but it's a good idea to look between how many installations and when last has it been updated. When I activate Elementor, it's going to automatically try and push me through the process to sign up to Elementor, because you can see here it takes me to a page to say, do you have an account or do you want to create an account? Now I have different accounts because you can only connect one account to a free version. I can't connect more websites. So I'm going to say create my account. And I'm going to sign in with my Liz Feezy account. Then it shows you this page to ask you, do you want to connect your site, lizfeezy.com, to this email? Yes. It's not the end of the world. You can always reconnect it to another email if it doesn't work, if you need to, but it's just part of the initial setup. Now it's important if you're new to website design to just stick to the steps to make it easier for you to pick a theme and to just get started instead of skipping through everything here and ending up with a blank website because you're maybe in a hurry and then you struggle to go back and find a theme again. So for now, I'm just going to continue with the theme. Okay, you give it a name. I don't have a logo and an image yet, so I'm going to skip that. And now it's asking you, what do you want to do? Do you want a blank canvas, which means you start every page blank, or do you want to start with a theme? Now, I'm creative, but I'm not that creative, and you give me a blank canvas for a website, and I have no idea where to even start, so I like starting with a theme. You can use your own WordPress themes. I prefer an Elementor theme because they are always compatible with Elementor, whereas sometimes with a WordPress theme, there are issues with Elementor. So it's up to you, but if you're new to this, there are enough templates that you can choose from that I'm pretty sure you will find something that you like. So I'm going to browse, and if you're on the Elementor Pro version, you have even more to choose from. So this will open to a page where you can see all the different templates. You can view a little demo, so if you click on it, it opens a new page and it kind of lets you click through what the kind of feel of the website would be. You can narrow it down with choosing a category and kits by plan. So every website is basically a kit. It consists of a home page, about, a contact page, potentially a service page, a team page. So every website or theme has its own little kit of a couple of pages, which is really great to start with. You can choose here, I only want the free version. But obviously you can see there are very limited ones. But it's so easy to just start with a theme and you change as you go along that I would still just rather start with one of the 16 free ones or upgrade if you don't mind spending the money. and then go from there. It literally opens it up that you can see what this website actually looks like. If you don't like it, you just go back to library and you look at something else. Perhaps I like this one more. And then here you can have overview, and you look at all the pages that you have inside of here. And if you're actually happy with the theme, you say apply kit. And it's going to ask you this question, and you can customize whichever pages you want, or you can just say take all. I'm going to take all. It does take a few moments, so just be patient. When you get this message, it means your website is now actually live. So if someone is now going to type in lizveezy.com, you can see it's live. I actually don't want people to be seeing my website like this, so I want to close it. So I want to put a maintenance page on. And this is the second step. Also, you can see I'm not secure there yet. Now, I know with my hosting server provider, I do have an SSL certificate. Can you see there? It shows HTTPS. That S refers to your SSL certificate. If it's not there, you go to settings and general. Here you can see your WordPress address. There I go to add an S. The site address, I go and I add the S. Only, and then I say only if you do have the SSL certificate, otherwise this can actually cause some issues for you. So now to get the maintenance page up, you can see Elementor showing on the side. It is a plugin, but it also shows up as a menu item on the side. And then you want to head over to tools. Do you see here is an option for maintenance mode? So this mode will shut down your website's live image from the public, but you can still view it and you can still preview it, but there will be a maintenance page like you often see on websites under construction. I don't have a template because I haven't done anything. So this will tell me, okay, now you can go and create one. So let's follow the steps. When you are in WordPress, if you've worked on WordPress before, this is the image that you're probably familiar with. When you add Elementor as a theme, every time you work, you want to go to the little button that says edit with Elementor, because then it takes you to the theme builder. So this is a blank page because maintenance mode is not included in your overall theme. You have to design it. But this can literally be one picture saying under construction. First of all, this is a little menu item. When you want to view the page or exit the page, you don't need to worry too much about this right now. The only one that you really use a lot is view page to see what your page looks like, or site settings, which is your global fonts and your global colors, which we will get to. On this side are all the elements that you can use in Elementor. So what you're already seeing here, this is what pops up if you click on that. All the ones with the lock are Elementor Pro features. Here is your search bar. So if you're not sure what you are looking for, you can type it in here, and then you will see if I type menu, these are the options that pop up. By process of elimination, you'll be able to see which ones you can or cannot use. So if you do use an element, this interface changes a little bit, and I will get to that in a moment. But at the bottom is more of your settings of the page. So here, this is your overall page name and look and feel. This is the title of the page, and you can hide the title or you can show the title. Construction. So this is the key of Elementor. You work in this left bar and you watch what happens on the right hand side. I'm going to hide it for now. Page layout. So default is the default look and feel of WordPress. Full width is the most common used version. It stretches the text to maximum on the screen, whereas in the default version it's a bit narrower. So it just optimizes the usage of the screen. If you go canvas mode, it takes everything away and it's just one picture that you put on top. In this instance, because it's a maintenance mode and I just want a picture, I'm going to stick with the full picture. And you can see already here at the top, now things are changing. We've gone from seeing elements and global to now we see settings, we see style and advanced. Settings is different for every element, but it's basically you telling the element how it needs to interact on the web page, while style is saying how it should look on the web page. Then here is your navigator. So a navigator is basically a list form of the items on your website. So if you have a picture and then it's got a title on top and then it's got some subtext or a subtitle and it's got another picture, you see it visually, but the navigator lists it for you. So it will say heading, image, text, heading, space, divider, text, image, however it goes on. I don't use it too much because it bothers me that it's in my field of view here. So I usually close it. But it does help if you have elements that are overlapping and you need to select a specific one and you, for some reason, can't click on it on the screen. This is history, so if you have previous versions. Responsive mode is when you want to see what your website looks like on a computer versus a laptop versus a phone. Because I haven't designed anything, there's no point in doing that. We will get to it once we design something. And this little eye is opening it up in a preview page that you can see what it looks like. You don't have to necessarily use the eye, because this little button, the moment you click it, the menu goes away and you can see what the website would look like. But let's get to designing so you can see what I mean. So whatever element you want to use here, you drag and drop like anything else online. Here you have the option to choose. If you click on the plus, you can select a structure, and all of these blocks are divided into different columns, which is giving you a structure. So if I choose the 4-1, you can see here I can add to each individual block. You can see it's dividing it into 4 columns, which means I can upload 4 pictures. So hover over it. If you see there's a little pink line, you drop it. You go back to elements and you use the next one. Can you see now the difference between having 4 blocks or 4 columns versus having 1 column? If there's nothing, it will be automatically 1 column. And dropping the image here and having a big column. So I don't want that, and I also don't want that. So say we want to now add a picture as the background. I'm going to drag it in there. You choose image. You're going to choose the image, and then we're going to play around. There is a media library. This is what has already been added to your page. That's the existing content on the page. Upload files. You can either insert from a URL or you can just insert media. This is when it's important to have your pictures ready, because if I don't have a picture ready, I now have to go to Unsplash and Pexels and everywhere else to go and find a picture. Have a look here on the side where it says the size of the picture. That's huge. If you have very big pictures, it will slow down the loading time of your website. So if someone comes on, instead of having an immediate cool little picture, it will just load and load and load, and you don't want that. So make sure if you click on edit image that you just reduce the pixels a little bit. You can click on scale, and if I take it down to 1200 pixels by 800, normally you don't want to go less than 800 if it's a big picture. If it's a small picture, you can go smaller. Then I'm going to try that. I say back, and then I say yes, please select this picture. And you can see it is filling the background. Now you wonder what's happening to this white portion at the bottom. If you click this to the side, you can see, okay, it's kind of filling the page, but I want to actually just fill it over the entire page. I don't want it just in sections. Now you see we've got different options here on the top than we had before. Now you've got content, style, and advanced. So content is basically the input. If it's text, it will be what the text would be. If it's a picture, it will be the picture, how it aligns, where it would sit on the page. Style. Here you can play around with the width of the picture. So if you want to make it smaller, you can, or you can make it bigger. So now, if we put it all the way, now you see my width is all the way. So my picture is basically now filling the entire page. So if you see, if I play with most of them, it will keep changing it. Or I can do this. Height. You can see now I can change the height of the picture, but it doesn't fill it nicely. So I actually want to keep my height there. So if that is the case, you just remove whatever number, delete it, and it's back to normal. Your other option is to go to object fit. So if you see, this is the height. If I wanted to fill it, it means it squashes my pictures because it wants to fit in the entire picture in the space. If I say I want to cover, it means I'm going to stretch it, but I just want to cover the picture that it's covering the entire frame. If I want to say contain, it means I want the entire picture, but I don't want to skew the dimensions of the picture. But I actually don't want any of that. I want the picture to fill. So if I'm not happy with any of these options, I just delete that option and I'm back to this picture. And here you can see if I click on preview, it opens a new page and this is what I will see. Or if I click here, take it away, this is the same that I will be seeing. So you can change the opacity of the picture. You can see here. So I'm going to be dropping, you see the text, if I put it, it wants to put the text in the top. It's not a bad look and feel, but I actually want that to be over the image. Here's where you can play a little bit with advanced. And if you want it now to be over the picture and more to the middle, for instance, this is where you say position is absolute. It warns you that it's not always very happy on mobile, but we're going to check what the mobile version looks like. And now you can see I have an offset. I can go to the side or can go up or down. So here I'm going right or left, but I'm quite happy to keep it in the middle. We'll go back to 0. and I can go up or down. So up of the page, I don't want that. I want to be in the middle of the page right here. But now it looks like my text is a little bit disappearing and I don't like that. How can I change that now? I can go to style. I can say I need to change the color to perhaps a white, that it can look like that. And there I say I want to change it to that color. And then you can see the whole block of that element has now got a background. I'm going to leave this for now. And I'm going to say publish. The moment you publish, it is live. I want to go back to my Elementor page, refresh it here because now I have a page. Say maintenance, under construction, save changes. Remember to make sure you select maintenance mode there, and that little red bar will come on. And you will see it shows me maintenance mode. Even though you think you're still seeing the website, the maintenance mode is on. You can still see what it looks like while you design, but if I were to go into incognito mode now and I type in lizfeasy.com, you will see my maintenance page is up. But this just makes it possible for me to keep working and keep previewing the page without having to worry what other people are seeing that I'm doing. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe so that I know to keep making videos like this. But before you go, you might want to check out this video. And again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.